Are you worried about food prices? Have you been grocery shopping lately? I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what grocery prices are gonna do, if they're gonna go up or down. What I do know is that there are things we can do right now to insulate ourselves from future higher prices, the inability to get the things that we want, and that's by stocking up on 20 to 30 grocery household items that are easy to find, that are fairly inexpensive, and that serve a ton of purposes to make sure that we can rely on ourselves and not whatever grocery prices are going to be doing in 2025. So here we go, essential grocery items that we should be stockpiling right now. Let's dive in. I like to start with pantry basics and things that you do every day. And for a lot of people, that's gonna be coffee and tea. If you can't get through your day without your morning cup of joe, let's stock up on it a little bit. And if you need to have the freshly ground, you can get the whole bean and get a manual coffee grinder so you can have fresh tasting coffee that's not stale or not expired. You could also store it in the freezer if it's pre-ground. Lasts a very, very long time. So whatever your drinks of choice are going to be, are you a coffee drinker, a tea drinker, an energy drink drinker, let's throw that in there, flavored water drinker, and to go along with our coffee and tea and whatever else that you have, we're gonna need some kind of sweetener. Honey, white sugar, brown sugar, something like that. Powdered milk would be a great option. I'm less than a minute into this. I've given you 5 things that you can stock up on. So honey does not go bad. Ever.
Ever?
Ever. Honey doesn't go bad. It's a great sweetener. You can put it in drinks. You can use it to bake. You can use it for cookies. You can use it on proteins. You can just dip a spoon in it and eat it because it's freaking delicious. Also, if you do local honey or you have your own bees or something.
What about bee Columbus? Bee Gandhi? Bejesus.
Because they feed on like your local flowers and plants, they can help with allergies. Powdered milk is a must in everyone's pantry. Number 1, you never run out of milk. It tastes a little bit different if you mix it up, but if you mix it up the night before and make sure it's really, really cold, it'll work in your cereal. It'll work when you're making pancakes. Anything that you need to bake and requires milk, I'm telling you, powdered milk is it. And then you can also add it to your coffee and tea if you like to have that. If you don't want the powdered milk, they do make ultra processed milk that's sealed, shelf stable, it doesn't go bad. It's used pretty heavily in other countries, not so much in the US, but you can even find it at Dollar Tree. I also like to do chocolate because it makes me happy, okay? I like it. What can I say? I want to stock up on chocolate. Don't tell me what I can't do.
Don't tell me what I can't do.
If I'm in a bad mood, chocolate. If I'm sleepy, chocolate. If I'm mad, chocolate. If I'm stressed out because of money and grocery prices, chocolate. Chocolate solves the world's problems. Listen, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy chocolate, okay?
Honey, she's right.
You can buy whatever chocolate that you want to. I tend to hoard mine in my nightstand so my children don't eat all of it. And if you have a specific one that you want like the low sugar, the Lily's kind, or the really high quality like Belgian chocolate, Swiss chocolate, whatever it is, all the things that I'm talking about in today's video, if you can't find it at your grocery store, like me, because I live in a smaller area, you can always find these things online, especially through an online grocery store like Thrive Market, who is sponsoring today's video. So thank you to Thrive Market for sponsoring. So as an online grocery store, it is membership based, but it's really inexpensive. If you do the annual membership, it only comes to about $5 a month. My favorite thing about it is that you can sort by diet. So if you're gluten-free or you're doing keto or low FODMAP or paleo, or you want all organic or whatever it is, you can sort by that. On my order this month, I tried to get all of my shelf stable, non-perishable items. The products ship really, really quickly. And I don't even get packages from that company that rhymes with Blamazon faster than 10 days. But my Thrive Market box shows up in less than 2 days every single time. All of the packaging is recyclable. And did you know that every product that you find on Thrive Market, if you find it cheaper somewhere else, they will match the price, guaranteeing that you will get it cheaper. So if you want to sign up and try it out, all you have to do is go to the first link down in the blue below. It's thrivemarket.com/frugalfitmom. They're going to give new members 30% off of your first order, which is almost 50% off, guys, and a free gift worth up to $60. First link in the doobly-doo, thrivemarket.com/frugalfitmom, 30% off plus a free gift. You're not going to want to miss this deal. You can shop from the comfort of your own home, Get the best price no matter what, and you can stock up with all the things that you might need to save money later on here in 2025. Thank you to Thrive Market for sponsoring. Let's get back to other things that you need to buy this month. Vinegar. You need to have vinegar in your pantry, long-term food storage, and your cleaning products, whatever it is. You need vinegar. You could just do plain old distilled vinegar and it will be fine. It cleans, it disinfects, and goes really well in a lot of dishes. It can also preserve food if you want it to, and it can clean your retainers by soaking them in a vinegar water mixture for 15 minutes once a week. That's how I keep my retainers clean. And it's cheap. White distilled vinegar is so cheap. It's probably the most budget friendly on this list, except for salt. You have to have salt. The world revolves on salt, my friends. Salt can preserve, it can clean. It does not go bad, and it makes food taste good. Your body does not work without salt. Going along with must-haves that can clean and do other things. Baking soda. You can make toothpaste out of it. You can make deodorant out of it. You can clean things out of it. It works when you bake. It can absorb smells, and it lasts a really long time, and it's cheap. You definitely need baking soda. Let's switch to dried goods. Rice. It is an excellent meal extender. It is inexpensive. It's easy to cook. You can put whatever flavors you want with it. You can put whatever sauces and protein and veggies on top of it, and it's delicious. And did you hear these new studies that if you refrigerate and or freeze rice for 24 hours after cooking, your body absorbs 50% less of like the carbs and sugar than if you eat it freshly cooked? What? What is this sorcery? By the way, I've eaten leftover rice my entire life. I've never been sick from it. Not ever, not one time. So don't be scared. Obviously, if it's been over 7 days, maybe not. Let's go dry beans. I freaking love dried beans. Yes, canned beans are convenient. And if you don't want to learn how to cook dried beans, stick with the canned, that's fine. Put that on your shopping list. Thrive Market carries those too. But the dried beans, I'm telling you, the bulk that they cook up to is staggering. Yeah, it might cost like $2 for 1 pound of dried beans, but you're going to get the equivalent of like 8 cans, maybe 10 cans of canned beans. And what I like to do is cook them in advance and then freeze them in individual containers. And then I essentially have canned beans that I made myself. If you want to start with the easiest pantry stock up you can think of, it's a box of pasta, dried pasta, and a jar of pasta sauce. 2 things, you have a meal. Yeah, it's not a fancy meal, but you've got a meal. And you can do whatever shape you like. You can do whatever kind you want. You need gluten-free? Fine. You want the protein pasta? Yes, that's what I got this time. You just want the cheapest one they make? Absolutely. You like bow ties instead of angel hair? Get that kind. Now, I do think that canned vegetables absolutely play a part in things that you should stock up on. They're just so easy and convenient. If you lose power, canned vegetables work. If you have no way of cooking anything, you can still pop open a can of vegetables and eat them. Yeah, you can eat them cold. It's not awesome, but you can still eat them. Do you have a can opener? Let's just make sure that you have a can opener so you can open these cans. Speaking of cans, let's also do proteins. Again, if you lose power or something like that, you're gonna lose all of your frozen chicken, all of your frozen beef. You don't want that. I don't want that for you. Canned ground beef, chicken, beef tips, and then of course your fish, tuna, oysters, clams, sardines, whatever. You definitely need a fat of some kind. Coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, powdered butter will also work. Some kind of oil that you can cook with, and it just makes things taste better, honestly. If you've got flour and like some yeast and some salt, you can make an endless amount of food. Throw in some sugar to that and baking powder, baking soda. Now you can make everything from bread to tortillas to bagels to muffins, pancakes. You can make literally everything at home. So pick your favorite flour, whichever one you want. You can do whole wheat or unbleached white or bread flour or pastry flour. There's so many options. So whatever flour that you already like to cook with, that's the secret, is the flour that you should be using for your stock up purposes. Let's do some snacky items, shall we? You could do nuts and seeds. I don't love those because they have a shorter shelf life. There's a lot of fat content in there, so they'll go rancid much quicker, which is fine if you're going to rotate them out every year or 2 years. But things I do like are dried fruit. Dried fruit's fantastic. You can do raisins if you're a psycho.
You are a psycho.
I prefer like dried pears. I really like dried pears. Dried apples work really nicely for me. And then of course you could stock up on like crackers, cereal. Of course that one's not gonna last a whole lot longer than maybe a year and a half or so, but those don't last very long in my house anyway. But because they're so popular, it's not a bad thing to get a few extra of those just to have around, especially when the price is good. Let's move past the food items and go into general household items, and then I have a couple of hacks for you that you are not going to want to miss. Okay, well this one technically is still food. How about your pets? Have you stocked up on your pet food? Because let me tell you what, my sons, we have a bin in the garage that stores the dog food. You know how many times the outside bin is empty and my sons haven't been like, Mom, we're low on dog food. And then I have to like run to the store to go get dog food. Cats, your dogs, your fish, whoever your furry friend is. Oh, maybe it's a bird. Feathery friend.
Hungry fella?
Stock up on your pet's food, medications, little toothbrushes, whatever it is that your pet might need. And then let's think baby stuff. So like formula, diapers, wipes. Do you remember we had that formula shortage a few years ago? Like that was nuts. Water. If for some reason something happens to the water supply, which actually has happened, there was that big freeze in Texas a few years ago that busted the water pipes. Do you remember that? You cannot live without water. It's not possible. You're not gonna do it. So having some water storage or like water purification sources would go a really long way. And that could be water purification tablets, it could be water filters, you know, the ones that you take backpacking and things like that, or just plain old jugs of water in your house would also work. If you lose power, a solar charger of some kind might be nice, you know, kind of a little one that can plug into your coffee maker or a cell phone. Probably gonna want like flashlights, batteries, some kind of medical kit would be really nice. Probably some extra of your dental things, toothpaste, floss, toothbrushes, maybe mouthwash. I think in your medical kit, some alcohol would go a long way because it can help disinfect wounds. Paper plates, paper towels. I might even say baby wipes will go a really long way into like faking a shower, being able to eat meals off of utensils, and then not worrying about having to clean everything up with no ability to do so. That's getting into more like emergency situations. I'm also going to say probably vitamins. Vitamin C, vitamin B complexes, vitamin D for me is a big deal. I just went and had my blood work done recently, and I already supplement with a multivitamin, and my vitamin D was still low. And so my doctor was like, you need to double up on the vitamin D. I just live in a place where there's no sun, like ever.
The North Pole.
Okay, let's get into some hacks about how to store some of this stuff so it will last as long as possible. Okay, vacuum sealing is going to be the cream of the crop when it comes to removing all of the moisture and making sure it lasts as long as possible. Just removing the air from products can get them to last 5 times longer than normal, which is amazing. And if you don't have one of those, you could probably do the oxygen absorber packs, you know, those little silver packs. Those will also work as long as you have food grade storage, bags or tubs. I really like the hard plastic tubs because bugs and rodents can't get into those. Canning supplies will probably go a long way. New jars, new sealing lids, sealing things, and then the screw top lids. You can put bay leaves into a lot of your dry storage items. Those will repel bugs really well. If you store canned goods upside down, supposedly it helps them to last longer and not pop their lids or anything like that. Also, do not use bamboo storage containers. They absorb moisture instead of keeping moisture out. So they definitely will not last as long. Keeping your storage temperature between 50 to 70 degrees is going to be perfect for extending the life of all of these things that you're going to be storing. Anything over 70 degrees and your food storage is just not going to last as long. It's not going to go bad per se, but it will shorten the life of it for sure. A way to keep things organized is you could use first in, first out. So a way that you can do that, as you put everything on your shelf, when something new comes in, it doesn't go in the front. You move everything forward and put the new item in the back. That means you're utilizing the items in the front, and that way you don't really have to keep an inventory so much because everything in the front is the oldest. Of course, you can do an inventory if you want. You can do a digital inventory on your phone or something on paper, whatever works for you. Something that's helpful for me is just to take a quick picture of my pantry before I go shopping. So I'm like, oh yes, I can reference my picture and be like, oh, I have no sugar at all. Definitely need the sugar today. Another tip for you is if you buy grain products, particularly rice. I'm gonna say rice, steel cut oats. I like to put all of those bags in my freezer for 1 week. A week is probably overkill, but I like to put them in a week because if there are weevil eggs in there, that will kill all of them and you will not get bugs in your pantry. I've had bugs in my pantry. It's not fun. So that's my little hack for you. I try and freeze all of my dry goods when I bring them home just to make sure there's no bug eggs hiding anywhere. Let's finish it up with my favorite thing to stockpile, peanut butter. Peanut butter. It tastes delicious. You can put it on everything. It's high in calories. It lasts a long time. And did I mention it's delicious? What items did I leave off of my list that you think are completely necessary to stock up on to help save money later in 2025 as grocery prices do? Well, I don't know what they're gonna do. If they go up, at least we will be insulated from that. Let me know down in the comments what item I missed on my list, or what is your favorite one that I mentioned today. And if you want to get 30% off of Thrive Market plus a free gift, it is the first link down in the blue below. Thanks Thrive Market for sponsoring. Thank you to you for hanging out with me today. I'll see you next time. But wait, there's more. So if you saw my video from a few weeks ago about my husband and I watching Dune Part 1, this is the continuation on that. So after watching Dune Part 1 and being thoroughly confused and looking up the plot online many, many times because we had never seen a previous Dune, hadn't read the books, hadn't seen the TV series, didn't know anything about it. We finished Dune 1 and we were like, oh, there's a sequel. This is where Dune 2 comes in, and we could not wait to watch it. So we found a night where we had like 3 full hours to watch Dune 2, set it up, and started working our way through Dune 2. First of all, my 13-year-old fell asleep in the first 20 minutes, so he missed the whole thing. Once again, I still had to stop the movie a couple of times and look up who the heck people were. Who's this Austin Butler character playing? That, like, where did he come from? Who's he related to? Why is there this random girl who's like one of the witches, but I'm not really sure who the witches are? Like, I'm a little lost, right? So I look up everything and I'm like, right, okay, I think I got it. Explain it to Dave. We're like, okay, we can unpause and continue the movie. It has been a very long time since I have really enjoyed watching a new movie that's come out. I really enjoyed it. The story is very complicated and interesting. The movie is gorgeous to look at. The acting is superb. So here's what I have to say. If you have no concept of what's going to happen, keep your phone by you because you're gonna have to look stuff up, or have an interpreter next to you, which I find weird as movie watching, but I really, really liked it. Dune 1 and 2. Huge fan. What did you think? Did you watch them? Did you like them? I think they're on Netflix right now to watch. They're long. They're really long movies. They're so beautiful to look at. It kind of reminds me of when Avatar came out all those years ago and we were like, whoa, this is so beautiful. It was a little like that. It was cool. Thoroughly enjoyed. Is that sci-fi genre? Who knew? I was a sci-fi girl.